All right, it is a hot morning show with Becca and Mike D. We are joined by a very special guest, very popular on many different platforms, especially TikTok. Just Stef joining us from Florida. Just Stef, what's going on?
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you got that early gym sesh to kick off a Monday. I mean, me on Monday, I'm trying to like nurse a hangover, but you're out there like working out, so you kind of made me, you inspired me a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, it's important to have the good days and then, the time where you get to spend with everybody and just kind of have a chill out, relaxed day. So,
Life is all about balance.
yes.
Yeah, that's what we try at least. But first and foremost, for those who don't know, who is Just Stef?
Um, so I was born in California. My family's from Argentina, and about 4 years ago, I moved to Florida. And I mean, I loved singing ever since I was little. And when I was doing TikTok, I was going through like a rough breakup. So I just kind of stayed with TikTok and kind of focused on that. And I started posting a couple singing videos here and there on Instagram as well. And from there, from those little videos, I think everything just kind of blew up. And I mean, I love what I do, and I sing, and that's my career. And I'm now twitching, and I want to get into acting. So there's a couple things that I do, and I love what I do. So.
So when did you think, wow, I think I'm really onto something, especially with TikTok?
Um, when I first started TikTok, I was doing like skits and stuff. And I think it was like a couple months in, the views and the followers were kind of like ranking up. And I was like, this is kind of weird because I was just posting for fun because I loved acting and like doing the little skits and stuff. And I started looking at the views and the analytics, and I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. So I just kept going, and I was consistent. And when my manager, who I have now, found me on TikTok, he flew in from New York to Florida to get me into a studio because he had seen some of the singing videos that I posted on there. And it went really well. And from then on, it was just uphill. And that's when my mind kind of was like, okay, I can actually do this for a living. Like I can
Mhm.
focus on this. And it's what I did.
It's crazy because, like you said, the skits. I mean, that was what I was mostly seeing from you is you doing your acting, and the comments were always like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing." So at first, like before you started doing the singing TikToks, were you like, "Hey, maybe I might get like an acting gig out of this"?
Um, No and yes, only because I feel like acting's a little bit different, but there's a portion of it that comes with doing skits online. But I love doing it anyway. And I think it's more of if you can put like a foot into the waters of that area, I guess anything is kind of possible. And then when I started posting the skits, um, obviously they found me off of singing, but even now with like the content that I do, most people love like the facial expressions and the
Mm.
small little acting videos that I do. And I do believe that it's possible, even though because TikTok's, I mean, it's a huge platform, and I feel like anything can happen as long as you can stay consistent and work hard for it. So yeah.
Yeah, and how do you find the balance in being an artist, in making music, and then also keeping up with your followers on TikTok? Because it's not like every day you're going to be posting a new song, but you're pretty much posting new content every single day. Where do you find that balance?
I guess it kind of depends because with TikTok, you have to spend some time looking for content to even make because you can't, I mean, sometimes you can't really just like magically think of something to do. And then with music, I guess it's just having your own schedule and if on Mondays you're going to do this, then you know how much time that's going to spend, and you give yourself a little extra time to look for content to make that can possibly be on Friday, or it's kind of like schedule and organizing the times and everything that you're doing constantly. So it's a little difficult, but I feel like once you get the rhythm of it, it's not as bad.
And have you been able to connect with some collaborators through TikTok?
Yes. So 2 years ago, before the pandemic hit, there's an event called Playlist down in Orlando, and I had gone to it, and me and a couple of Latin influencers, we rented this huge Airbnb to go to Playlist, and we all collabed, and we did like a bunch of TikToks, especially Playlist because it's a good event to kind of meet other influencers and see what they're going through and how they experience different stuff on the platforms and all. So it's, I mean, definitely, yeah. And then sometimes when I'm on TikTok, there's people who I follow who kind of inspire me, or I just like watching, and I'll see that they follow me back, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, and then we kind of get to talking. So it just kind of depends, but definitely, yeah.
And, you know, with it being such a big platform and everything kind of realistically happening pretty fast for you, how do you handle you're very open about a lot of parts of your life. And, you know, even I was in your Twitch stream the other day and you have some really hardcore dedicated fans. Like, how do you like handle people that look up to you and, you know, watch your videos as an escape from kind of the things that they're going through and your music as well?
I feel like the most important for me to deal with it is kind of just be authentic, because I do love my followers, and I love, you know, what I do, and I think the most important thing for me is to kind of like just be authentic, because I mean that doesn't change at all,
Mhm.
and I feel like the people who follow me know that about me. So I think it's just, I mean, it's easy to just express, you know, if you're feeling a certain way, I'll tell them, and what I'm going through, because that's what connects me to them, which is the most important for me. And I feel like as long as I stay authentic to myself and them, um, everything is just gonna flow with it.
Do you ever feel like there's a day, Steph, where you're like, I just don't feel like content creating today? Like, I just want to put my phone down. I want to watch Netflix and I need to chill.
Yeah, definitely most of the time. I feel like we all kind of get into those little days where we're just like, oh goodness, I really don't want to. Or you kind of get like overwhelmed emotionally and you're just like, I just want to go out for a drive and just be by myself. And that does happen to me. Sometimes I try to kind of push through it. Um, because what I do isn't something that I can just, you know, leave for a while and then I'm all good. And I feel like,
Mm.
you know, you guys feel that way too, you know. And there's people who look up to you, and they want you to be there, because I'm not the only one who's going through stuff, you know, everybody else is. And I feel like when I think of that and what I do, I feel like I need to be there. And even though I'm going through it, I can still push through and do things that I do, and even talk about what I'm feeling, and still love what I do what I love to do, but still for the fans.
That's a really good way to put it. Do you feel as if it can be like sort of an escape for you too, like like being open about your mental health and things you're dealing with on a daily basis, also helping other people, but do you feel like it's also helping you?
Yeah. Again, because I feel like we've all gone through a moment where we feel like we're alone.
Mm.
And when I go, I don't know, if I stream on Twitch or if I go live on TikTok or I'm doing content and I'm writing back to the followers or anything like that, um, I know that they tell me sometimes how they're feeling a certain way. And when I feel alone, you know, most of the time I'm one of those people who, if I'm going through something, I kind of want to push everyone away and kind of just want to sit by myself. And when I'm doing content, I always try to think like, yes, I do feel alone, but there's people out there who also feel the same way, and they're there for me as much as I am there for them. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's what I kind of stick with on my mind when I do feel like that. So it is kind of like uh, a thing that does hold for me.
Which is great, you know, and it shows in your content and, you know, in your replies to people. And even the other day in your Twitch stream, just kind of how you interacted with your chat. It definitely comes off as genuine. So that's, you know, great because you're so young too, you know, like you're experiencing this rise to fame and doing all this content creating stuff in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
And you're still experience a lot of things in your life for the first time too. Now to bring it back to the music, like, do you feel that that helps in creating music in regards to, you know, putting your feelings into it?
Yeah. I think that's the most important, you know, because with my content, whether, you know, I know it's not mostly based off my music sometimes, I want it to be authentic. So when I do create music and I go into a studio and I write my music, I want it to be authentic as well. And, you know, I write out my feelings and stuff. The only problem that I've had is that there's people out there who will tell you to not speak your truth because of
Mm.
certain, oh, someone's listening, oh, someone's doing this. And I feel like I've learned that that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because I've always been a person who just like, oh, I'm scared of how they think of me or how they see me. And I think especially with music, it's become a thing where I just have to not care. I have to
Mm.
speak my truth, and people out there who go through the same thing, people are probably stopping them from speaking their truth. And I don't want to be one of those people, especially when people are looking up to me and they're looking at my content and they're listening to my music.
So what's coming up this year for music and just everything outside of TikTok?
Um, so with my music, so I had COVID about 2 or 3 months ago.
Mm.
And when I got and I have asthma. So
Oh boy.
when it hit me, yeah, it hit me a little hard. So I had to go to the doctors and get medication because I wasn't able to sing for a really long time. So I'm barely starting to get back to like warming up and stuff. So I'm doing like little writing sessions just here at home for a little bit until, I feel safe enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the studio and, I can totally just rock out with my voice, but
Yeah.
that's where I am right now. I'm in the process of creating more music, and I'm saving up to live in LA, so that when I'm out there, I can collaborate with other songwriters and producers to create more music. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Sounds like you're in a good spot. And, kind of going through all this, like pretty much the duration of the pandemic, I'm sure you haven't had a lot of opportunities to like perform. So are you excited to like get on stage and maybe do some shows?
Yeah, there was someone who DM'd me, I think last week, to do a show with someone, and I was like, yeah, for sure. And they were like, well, where are you based? I was like, Florida.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. But the show is for LA. And it was like a couple days away too. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. So I am really excited to get back and sing and just kind of experience that part of life, because I know the pandemic has like stopped it a lot, especially with shows. So I'm super excited for that.
Looking ahead 5 years from now,
Mhm.
where do you see yourself? Or where
I
would you like to be?
um I would like to be living in LA, still doing what I love to do, but just in that part of life, I'll be making music. I'll be an actress.
Mhm.
I'll still be twitching on streaming on Twitch and still on TikTok. I feel like just being able to do what I love, but getting more into the music side and the acting side, and being able to do shows and movies and shows for singing. I feel like that's where I want to be, and I can't wait. So I'm excited.
We can't wait too.
That's it. I know. We're looking forward to it. And in just the trajectory that you're on, it seems like it's inevitable. Ton of talent, and we're looking forward to what you have in store. The latest single is called Joke, right?
Yes. Yep.
We were listening to it in the studio. It's
So
good. We like it. We like
Thank
it a lot.
So catchy.
So
Very
fun.
catchy. So we're excited for that. Just Stef, thank you so much. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music. You can just type Just Stef, or you can go on any social media platform and just put I'm Just Stef, and I should pop up. Mhm.
Perfect. Just Stef, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we talk to you again down the road.
Thank you guys. Have a good day. Thank
You
you for
too.
having me.
Too.